Hi Taylor, how are you this morning? Happy Monday. I saw your comment and thought that I would take a moment to respond. And sorry, the sun's getting a little intense right in my face, but I'm trying to do my morning 40 minutes. How do we know if we're insulin resistant? A lot of people are going to say generalized irritability, but that could be because you're not getting enough sleep, right? And I don't know your age. I don't know the age of your kids. I don't know how well you sleep at night. But if you're not sleeping at night, that could also be a sign of insulin resistance, because your lack of blood sugar could be causing your body to dump cortisol in the middle of the night, which then causes your body to produce glucagon, which then releases glucose from the liver, which then causes an insulin response. So waking up in the middle of the night and poor sleep could be a sign of insulin resistance. That poor sleep could definitely lead to irritability. And what's poor sleep? If you're going to bed at a normal time so that you can get 8 hours, and you're not sleeping for 8 hours, that's poor sleep. If it takes you longer than about 15 minutes from the time your head hits the pillow until you fall asleep, that's poor sleep. Another sign that you are insulin resistant is that after you eat, you become extremely fatigued and you need a nap. So like, you finish the meal, you go sit down to do another task, and within 20 minutes you're like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. That's a sign. If you are craving anything carby, whether that is like, oh, I really want a banana because it's a high glycemic load, or I want bread, donut, chocolate, sugary things, anytime during the day, that could be a sign of gut imbalance, but it could also be a sign of insulin resistance. Another is really needing food or caffeine to get you through the last part of your day, as opposed to having enough energy to go through your day. And another one that I would say, and most people don't really think about this, but the inability to fast for 72 hours, the inability to fast for 36 hours is a sign that you're insulin resistant. Another one that a lot of people don't think about is dizziness, especially like if it's happening midday and you're also having hunger with it. And if that dizziness also comes with a headache, I'd consider myself insulin resistant. So how do you reverse it? Because it is reversible. And then how do you prevent it from happening? The number one thing I would do is start working on a schedule where you are fasting. If you are a woman who is cycling, your fast shouldn't be more than 14 hours a day, except for a few days out of the month, which usually looks like after your cycle has completed. There's about a 4 to 5 day window there where you could get away with fasting for 72 hours. When you're in your eating window or your fueling window, don't eat snacks at all, and don't eat any or consume any sugary beverages, and that will definitely help. You should eat 3 meals a day that are focused on real food. So you need a protein source, you need a vegetable, and for 2 of those meals you need a small piece of fruit, like 4 ounces of fruit. Your goal of protein should be like 90 grams a day minimum. I don't know your height and weight, so like my goal every day is 120 grams because I'm trying to build muscle, because between the age of 30 and 45 is your best muscle building years to retain muscle into your 60s, 70s, and your muscle on your body is your 401k for your long-term health. Muscle also makes you more insulin sensitive, which means you're less likely to become insulin resistant. While I was working on fixing this, I would cut all caffeine. Like all caffeine, because again, caffeine is something that will push your body to release cortisol, which will push your body to release glucagon, which will push your body to release sugar from the liver that's stored, which will push your body to release insulin, which bathes the cells in insulin, which then makes you insulin resistant. And if I for sure never wanted to become insulin resistant, I wouldn't drink coffee before I had been awake for 2 hours, and only after I'd had my first meal or with my first meal so that my body could better tolerate both the food and the caffeine that I was handing it. The final thing I would do is I would quit fasting in the morning. I would stop skipping breakfast. And that is research driven. That is not just a decision that I made. It's literally in the research. I caved for about 7 years to people who were doing my program to reset their metabolism because it was more convenient for them to skip breakfast than it was for them to skip dinner. Well, here's the truth. I'm not caving to your whims anymore. I am telling you research-driven facts. The research shows that you have better metabolism, which includes insulin resistance or insulin sensitivity. If you get up within the first hour, you have 30 grams of protein and you move for 30 minutes. That is what the research shows. Period. End of story. When we're looking at the research on longevity, it is the same thing. If you get up, 30 grams of protein, move for 30 minutes, even if that's just a walk or like it's cold outside, you're walking up and down the stairs in your house for 30 minutes, or you're doing a simple Tai Chi that you're following on an app or yoga that you're following on an app in the comfort of your living room, move for 30 minutes. This would also solve the fasted coffee issue too, wouldn't it? Now, there are some other changes that you could make, but those are the basic ones. So don't snack, like literally stop snacking. Stop eating while you're prepping dinner unless you know that you're going to be eating that dinner within 45 minutes. Stop eating the stuff off your kids' plates. Stop snacking. And track absolutely everything, because there are so many times where someone comes to me and they say, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm eating perfectly healthy. I'm doing all the things, and I am still not able to lose weight. I'm still fatigued during the day. I'm still struggling with my blood sugar levels and having a headache or feeling fatigued. And then I get their log of their sleep, their hydration, their bowel movements, their nutrition, and their exercise for 4 days. And I'm like, I don't think you're doing all the things. Because there are times when we just don't realize what we're doing. And that includes like writing down, when was the first thing I put in my mouth that had a calorie or could create an insulin response? So if you have coffee at 4:30 in the morning, that is literally the first thing that you're putting in your body that creates an insulin response. Literally. And you have to track that. Now, if you're starting your day like you should with like 24 to 32 ounces of lukewarm water with maybe a little bit of lemon squeezed into it, I would think a lemon essential oil would be better, one that is food grade, or a little bit of apple cider vinegar, totally fine. You're not creating an insulin response. But if you're starting your day with coffee, if you think you need that cup of coffee to wake up, you are insulin resistant. And there are going to be people who say, well, skipping dinner shows my kids a bad reference, right? It doesn't. And here's what I can tell you. The more you talk to your kids about how your body as an adult is different than their body as a child, the more they actually learn how to be healthy in the future. And the more you set the perfect example, the more they learn how to have good examples and how to be a good example when they are an adult for their own kids, your grandkids. I have been skipping dinner for the last 5 years, and my kids don't think I'm starving myself because they see how much I put on my plate for breakfast. They know what I'm taking for lunch because they watched me pack it the night before. And they know that if I'm hungry at dinner time, I'm going to eat regardless because I'm not starving my body, I'm nourishing it. If you're looking for help in this area, there is a link that you can click that will give me your contact info.